it's because Canelo doesn't go out with a knockout anymore. Canelo's just now. We've seen in the last few fights, he just does enough to win.
Canelo has such unique skills, and one of the weird things that he does that very few people since Rocky Marciano does is he punches your arms.
In a statement that has stirred the boxing world, renowned trainer Robert Garcia recently cast doubt on Saul Canelo Alvarez's ability to trouble Terence Bud Crawford in a potential blockbuster showdown.
He's up there, in not in age because he's only like 33 or 34, but
he's fighting since 15.
15. A lot of training camps, a lot of sparring matches. So all that takes a lot out of your body. So he takes care of his body too. So he doesn't go all out because he doesn't want to just finish his body. He knows he still has a few more years and a few big fights where he wants to take care of himself.
Also, Stephen A. Smith made a bold statement that has ignited a firestorm across the boxing world, triggering non-stop debates between fans and experts alike. His suggestion that Crawford could outshine Canelo has poured fuel on an already intense rivalry, raising the stakes and deepening the drama surrounding this potential super fight.
You gonna stand on that all the way to September 13th?
I love Canelo. Crawford will beat Canelo.
But the question here is, even when Canelo, the undisputed super middleweight champion who has earned such fame and name, why is he still not favored by the pros against the 3-division world champion Terence Crawford, who last year became the first male boxer to hold all 4 major belts at welterweight to fight in a showdown? Even discussions of a 158 to 160 pounds catch weight are being discussed, and both parties seem keen to make history.
It's just different.
Great fighter.
You see what happened when a good fighter jump up and his opponent is great fighter. So you're gonna find out.
So that means you're a good fighter and Bivol is a great fighter, right? Right? Is you a good fighter or a great fighter? Let me know.
I'm a great fighter.
So you got your ass whooped by a good fighter, right?
You're a good fighter.
I'm saying.
But I'm great.
Okay. And so every time you stepped up, you lost. Great fighter.
I'm not.
Right. Question for Terence Crawford.
The fight in question is not an ordinary fantasy fight in the eyes of the fans and pundits. It is the fight of 2 generational titans, one and proud Mexican icon who has taken the sport on his back over more than a decade. The other, a suave and smart switch hitter who has unhinged every man put in front of him altogether. Joe Rogan offered his rave opinion about the possible fight between Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez. To share his enthusiasm, he complimented both of the fighters as legends in the sport. Rogan particularly emphasized Crawford as a switch hitter, as he is rare, and he compared Crawford to the legendary Marvin Hagler, who passed away.
It's going to be great. It's going to be a great fight. You're dealing with 2 all-time greats. Crawford's one of the best switch hitters, I think, since Marvin Hagler, and one of the most skillful boxers alive. And then you have Canelo, who probably isn't the same guy as he was just like a few years ago.
Right.
But still one of the greatest of all time, still has brutal knockout power.
After that, Rogan has started to talk about Canelo Alvarez, admitting that the Mexican superstar is probably no longer the fighter representing his full potential, but still one of the most skilled and potentially dangerous athletes of this generation. Canelo has proved in the past, through highlight reel type knockouts such as Amir Khan and Billy Joe Saunders, that he can overpower his peers, pointed out Rogan. Although he acknowledged that Canelo has lost a step, he was assertive that the champion is not far away from his prime and still has a lot of potential.
If you go back to like some of his, like more impressive fights from a few years ago, like the Amir Khan KO, like the Billy Joe Saunders KO, like those KO, like he's probably not that guy anymore.
Yeah.
But he's still young enough that he's still like pretty close to his prime and one of the best of all time.
I'd like to see him fight David Benavidez.
The build up to this fight is not purely about the clash of waistlines or resumes. This is about legacy, time, and the coming together of 2 very different schools of thought as to how a fighter deploys his style. At a time when opinion is already flying thick and fast in the circles of boxing, Robert Garcia came to the fore and changed the sudden turn of the discourse. With the fame of training elite fighters and elevating champions to the top, the readers could not have ignored the insights of Garcia. In his interview, he has provided a patient yet assertive analysis as to what is wrong with the matchup between Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez, due to which the match may not turn out to be what most people anticipate. The concept that Crawford would pull off the unthinkable received a boost.
It's a fight that most of the people don't give Crawford a chance because of the size, but he's got skills, man. He's got skills. He's got good speed, good footwork. That's why I do give him a chance.
However, Garcia did not stop at this. He went on to say, towards the end of the interview, that it could be possible that rival Canelo could be displaying a deeper issue going on in the ring during some of his recent big fights. It was not only about the abilities or strength anymore. It was about mindset, urgency, and how Canelo will fight in the high-stakes situations. That raised another series of concerns. Is Canelo too complacent? Will Crawford blow the whistle?
He did the same again, Munguia. He dropped Munguia, but then they didn't want to finish him. Charlo, Berlanga. He wants to cruise through the fight. He's up there, in not in age because he's only like 33 or 34, but he's
fighting since 15.
15. A lot of training camps, a lot of sparring matches. So all that takes a lot out of your body. So he takes care of his body too. So he doesn't go all out because he doesn't want to just finish his body. He knows he still has a few more years and a few big fights where he wants to take care of himself and not punish himself too much. That's why he hasn't been able to knock those guys out. Not because he can't. I think he just does enough to win.
When all the hype about the possible fight between Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez was high, a martial artist himself, Michael Jai White, inserted his prediction. Taking his side, White did not hesitate to say that he was on Crawford's side. Although showing some respect to the successes and the achievements of Canelo throughout the years of his existence, White indicated that he believes that Crawford is the superior fighter.
Because Crawford could find people to fight like Canelo, who is amazing. Canelo has he evolved. I saw how he evolved defensively and everything. I just don't think he's as fast as Crawford. And I think Crawford is just a little step ahead as far as movement is concerned. And so I think it's going to be Mayweather.
At 34 years of age, Canelo remains synonymous with boxing, but the luster has also been fading over the past years. Canelo has been the unfortunate target of increased criticism since defeating Caleb Plant in a 2021 unification match to become a true undisputed champion at 168, enjoying a new and safer opponent as he demonstrates wear and tear. His defeat against Dimitri Bivol in 2022 revealed weaknesses against opponents who have movement and timing and length. In an interview with Joe Rogan, Jim Lampley gave a very good opinion about what makes Canelo Alvarez a very tough fighter to handle in the ring. More to the point, Lampley emphasized how Canelo was nearly undefeated in his ability to absorb punches and did not show the effects. He pointed out that Canelo has never been dropped in his long career, even when he has been caught clean.
Yes.
He brutalizes your arms.
He's another brilliant guy. He has the greatest punch resistance in the sport. We talked about it earlier. One knockout in the whole career.
Knockdown.
And it wasn't knockdown. And it wasn't really a knockdown in my personal view. So, because he didn't touch the canvas. He's never been on the canvas. And we call it chin.
Jim Lampley went further in his assessment and provided a different way of explaining how Canelo Alvarez has an amazing sense of balance and is unable to be knocked down. He did not follow the common practice of the notion of a strong chin, but concentrated on the strength of the lower body of Canelo. Lampley made a very intriguing linkage between the ability to ride a horse and mind-boggling stability in the ring by Canelo.
That the reason you can't knock him down is not because of his chin, it's because of his legs.
His base.
You can't get him off balance. He's too strong from the waist down. And if other fighters would pay attention to what Canelo does, they might go do a little horseback riding.
That completely makes sense if you think about it. Squeezing with the lower legs, the core strength that you have to have.
100% correct.
The balance.
The balance,
yes.
exactly. The timing, all of it. Yeah, there he is. Look at Canelo.
Wow.
Now that's a skill he has carried since his early childhood.
That's crazy.
In the meantime, Terence Crawford continues to rise. Despite being at the ripe age of 37, he came into his own when he claimed his moment with the destruction of the undefeated Errol Spence Jr. in a 9-round masterclass in July 2023, in the making of history as the undisputed champion of the division. His win in Las Vegas that night solidified his spot at the head of the pound-for-pound list, and he now has only increased his appetite even further. In a discussion with veteran boxing journalist Dan Rafael, Are Oladipo offered a deeper perspective on how weight plays a role in boxing, one that often goes unnoticed by casual fans. As highlighted in the opening moments of their talk, Oladipo explained that weight shouldn't just be seen as a matter of height or body size. Instead, it's more accurately tied to a fighter's ability to absorb punishment, which is commonly referred to as punch resistance.
Dan Rafael kind of made a great point when talking about sizes. Because he said, if you look at them two together now, they look the same size. He said, people have got the idea of the size thing wrong. It's not looking at them as a physical package. It's who has absorbed the bigger shots in the weight division. So, and it was good. It was a very good point. He was like, Canelo has been hit by light heavyweights and super middleweights for the better part of a decade.
Basically.
He's so used to taking those shots.
Using this framework, Oladipo pointed out that Canelo Alvarez, due to his naturally bigger frame, might have an edge when it comes to taking punches. However, he also argued that Terence Crawford shouldn't be counted out, as he's shown the toughness and ring IQ to hold his own against physically larger opponents.
Crawford hasn't. Crawford's been hit by 140 guys and 147 guys for the best part of a decade.
Yeah.
What's Crawford going to be like? So basically, he's trying to say, Canelo could easily absorb Crawford shots. Can Crawford easily absorb Canelo's punches?
If you're taking shots from Triple G, Sergey Kovalev, Dmitry Bivol, and you're staying on your feet, not getting hurt,
not even getting wobbled.
Not even getting wobbled, just literally shaking it off.
Yeah.
You can take Terence Crawford shots.
100%.
The battle between Canelo and Crawford is a huge contrast in reaching out and style as well as outlook. Canelo is a textbook pressure counterpuncher. Set in the textbook, he is very deliberate and composed with hooks to the body. He is outstanding when passing control and when punishing overextensions. Kenny Sims recalled his experience of sparring with Terence Crawford at an early stage of his career and stated that it was a hard lesson. At the moment, Sims remained an up-and-coming fighter, and trading seats with a skillful, experienced, and tactical fighter like Crawford was too much to take.
Did Terence Crawford beat you up in sparring? Because a lot of people have told me, even Shakur told me that Bud has beat me up in sparring before. Like
the first time we sparred, he beat my ass.
Yo, why does this nigga do? Bud be like trying to beat up niggas for real in sparring.
Yeah, he beat my ass the first time we sparred. Nah, but that was before we went to camp together.
Keith Thurman spoke with clear respect for Canelo Alvarez, acknowledging how often Canelo has exceeded expectations throughout his career. Over the years, Canelo's performances and ability to adapt in big fights have left a lasting impression on Thurman. Because of that consistent excellence, Thurman admitted that he no longer doubts what Canelo is capable of doing in the ring. He said, "Canelo's impressed me on many occasions, so I definitely don't put nothing past Canelo Alvarez no more." Keith Thurman tweeted that he appreciates the level of a possible Terence Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez fight. He reminded people that as the audience, it is simple to embrace the show when you are not being hit. Thurman emphasized giving equal importance to both of the fighters, as he made it clear that no matter who wins, they are both elite fighters. He was more of an admirer than a prognosticator when referring to this fight, and compelled fans to savor the moment as it is two greats risking it all.
I feel like, you know, it's something unique, something special. It's fun, and you know, we ain't getting punched in the face, so let's just watch the show and enjoy, people. You know what I'm saying? Let's just watch what these champions do. No matter what they do, they're both great. They're both going to continue to be great, but by the end of the day, one will be above the other.
Then Thurman said something about the fight, concluding that both men are great, yet only one of them is going to win. He could feel that the average audience can be just a bit biased on the side of Canelo, based on his record and fame. Meanwhile, Thurman has been open, and certainly many fans would agree with him, that to him it is an admittedly level playing field. He also found it hard to make a confident call, terming the match a close to 50-50 in the sense of how competitive and close the result looks.
It's not like, I think a lot of people are going to lean towards Canelo. I don't want to say it's like, I feel like for the fans, it's coming off 50-50. Like it's hard for me to really commit, because this is what happened, right? When Canelo just fought the Charlo, right? When he just fought Charlo, he knocked Charlo down. But after he knocked Charlo down and Charlo was using ring movement, he never hit Charlo with another big shot, okay? This is what Keith Thurman is watching.
Crawford, conversely, is adaptability itself. He is an uncommon fighter, as he was able to fight an orthodox stance in southpaw and still retain control in the same round. His time and footwork are elite, and he also has a fantastic ring IQ and is the best of his era. He downloads one opponent after another, breaking them down one by one, and mentally and physically. He does not have massive power, but rather cutting and cumulative. More to the point, Crawford is effective at striking against an opponent in vulnerable situations where he is either moving up lens, off balance, or in the middle of the offense. Even Tony Harrison, a hardened warhorse in and an outsider of the sport, was unable to stop making realistic proclamations about what Terence Crawford is attempting to do. In his interview, Harrison did not use sugarcoating. He was appreciative of the imminent danger and appreciative of the type of boldness that most fighters speak about but never seem to do anything about.
His length, his amount of punches, his rhythm. I think he's in the class of Crump. So I think he's in the class of his own. So, but to me, for him to replicate Mayweather style, I think would be the easiest thing to do at this moment, because Canelo couldn't catch Mayweather when he was 35 or 30, whatever old Mayweather was. Canelo's feet didn't do nothing but get worse. They didn't get better. So if I'm Crawford, I'm going in there with that same kind of game plan. And when I watch him fight Majimov, I know that he can stick to a game plan. I know he didn't get intrigued by what Majimov was doing.
Harrison is seeing what it takes to jump rope and get the unknown, and hence his words were saying something. He did not hype Crawford when he said that his move was super dangerous, since it was a mark of great respect to him. Crawford is not just migrating between weight divisions, but entering the territory of one of the strongest boxing champions without a second thought. No trashing, no limelight, nothing but goodwill. Such an attitude wins the respect of combat fighters.
But facts is facts. He got his hands full. But when it comes down to timing, I think the time is right. If you was gonna do it, now is the time to do it, because Canelo is slowing down. He doesn't throw as many combinations as he used to. He's definitely still durable. So I don't think Canelo is going, Crawford is going in there trying to stop Canelo, because that would be idiotic.
At this size, Crawford also has questions that are not answered. He has never gone above 147 to fight. Moving up 10 or even 11 pounds in a match with a man who has been fighting at 168 pounds or above for years is not a trifle step. Even the greatest names, Roy Jones Jr. and Kell Brook, have found out that moving up in weight is dangerous. The body will act differently. The jabs are different. The trainer of Murtaza Aliyev also posted something in which he talked about the possible fight between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford, and why, even though Crawford has a size disadvantage, he is still a dangerous fighter. Admittedly moving up 3 full weight classes, he said that the skill level plays more than to balance any physical advantage or disadvantage when it comes to Crawford. To this, the trainer said that Crawford does not have to use his pure strength to win, but that his timing, ring IQ, and technique are deadly regardless of the weight group.
I personally think he deserves a big shot like that, and moving up 2 weight classes, it's very hard, of course, but again, you can't count Crawford out no matter what. He's a very competitive guy, very technical guy, very skillful guy. He might not be the biggest puncher, but he knows how to land that shot and clean and puts people out. He put so many people out before Majimov, like 10 or 11 fights in a row, so.
Jim Gray made it clear that his admiration for Canelo Alvarez isn't rooted in favoritism. It's grounded in what the fighter has consistently accomplished throughout his career. Speaking at the 0:32 to 0:52 mark, Gray emphasized that Canelo has earned his place as not just Mexico's standout champion, but also as one of the most dominant pound-for-pound fighters in the sport today. His resume speaks for itself.
It's the bias. He belongs with the greats, okay? The greatest Mexican fighter, he's the greatest pound-for-pound fighter for a long time. This guy's just a proven tremendous boxer and talent. So yes, no, there's no bias. I do love him personally. I love the way he fought. I love the way he conducts and carries himself.
At the same time, Gray acknowledged the never-ending debate around pound-for-pound rankings, noting that Terence Crawford deserves to be mentioned near the very top of any credible list. However, he also pointed out a few key advantages on Canelo's side. He's fought at higher weights for longer. He's remained more active in recent years, and those factors could play a crucial role if the two ever meet in the ring.
Terence Crawford's a great fighter. Terence Crawford, you know, everybody says perhaps the pound-for-pound guy. I mean, we can have these mythical lists and you can pick 3 or 4 of them, but he would be on somebody's list probably at the top.
Right.
And Canelo is getting a little bit older, so but Canelo weighs a lot more, and Canelo fights more often, and so I think it's an intriguing matchup. Hell, but the bigger man, I mean, I don't want to get hit by Canelo ever, and when you've weighed so much less, I mean, I don't know what Terence will come into the ring, but you know, he's coming up in weight significantly, and you know, that seems to me would favor Canelo. By the other token,
however, this is not another fight, but a clash of titans. One man is risking the leap to move up to 3 weight classes to make history with nothing but his ability, heart, and bravery. It can certainly be said that this is a moment that makes the history of boxing, be it Crawford doing what he did or Canelo having such a strong base. And so we leave it up to you. Who will come out with his or her legacy boosted? Is it the smooth technician on the way up, or the battle-tested powerhouse holding his crown? Leave your predictions in comments. Press that like button, and if you want war, make sure to subscribe and get all the updates on the most anticipated boxing super fight.